Hey guys, I've had a few comments on my videos about how I'm dealing with winter. Not that it's that cold this winter, but how I actually stay warm. Any hints, tips, and tricks that I've got from staying in the motorhome for this is my second winter. So I thought I'd do a quick video and share my thoughts on how to stay warm any time of the year really, because we do have a few times of the year when it does drop down and does get a bit colder, not just winter, because the weather in this country is random as anything. So let's get to it. Alright, the first thing is there's no point worrying about heating the van or the motorhome if the heat's just going to disappear. So you want to use all the, if you've got any thermal blinds like these, you want them closed, especially the top one. Any skylights or roof vents, lights, anything like that, because that's where the heat's going. The heat is rising straight up, and if these aren't protected and insulated, that's just gonna suck the heat out of it completely. So you want that. You can actually buy some like foam inserts, I think, to if you haven't got sliders or something like that. So I just use the sliders there. Next thing is thermal blackout blinds, curtains. So I've got these on every window. So they're 9 times out of 10 they're always drawn, because I'm always parked up in urban areas, so, and streets, so I don't want people looking in really, you know. So, but another top one, let me just open the door so you can see for a moment. Right, so obviously this is the entire motorhome, yeah, and then this is the front cab. Now I have these closed straight away. I close these curtains straight away because then all the glass is, you know, trying to keep the heat away, trying to keep the heat in and stop it, you know. So the other top thing I do is this. Have a bigger sheet, it's exactly the same, it's a thermal blackout, and I put it, it's only lays under. Let me just put that back up. Now I've broken it. Okay, so yeah, it's not full length, there's a couple of inches at the bottom, 3 or 4 inches at the bottom, but that shuts that off. So any heat that is in here that I do create from the heating and anything else stays in here as much as possible. It keeps the cold out. It's just a little barrier just to help. The other thing is I replace the curtains that were for the bunk. This is where I sleep all the time. Again, these are thermal blackout blinds, and if it does get really cold up there, I can really cocoon myself in, and it's dark as anything up there when that is off. So these are just on the runners, the same runners that were there. Again, they're cut to size, so, and that keeps it really warm. But one good thing about sleeping, if you have got the option to sleep upstairs, I would sleep upstairs in the cold, because the heat, any heat that you do generate from the fire or from a little gas heater, whatever you've got, even cooking, heat rises and it'll be toasty up there. Now the main heating that I've got in here is this. So it's a gas fire, and it's got blown air as well. It's the, there you go. So that does keep me toasty as anything. And it has got, well, there's the actual controls. That's the control for, well, that's for the water, don't worry about that. But this is also a space heater. So if you was on hookup, or well, mine can run on the inverter if I really want it to. If I run out of gas for some reason, I can use the electric. Would take quite a lot of electric and kill my batteries within no time at all, but it's a possibility. The other source of heat would be the oven and the cooker top. No matter what you're going to do, whether you use a little portable stove, which I don't recommend, but I wouldn't, you know, in cold conditions, as long as you've got smoke detector and your carbon monoxide, they are a must. With any heating situation, any heating solutions you think of, you need them to protect you. And a fire extinguisher. Mine's down the front, just in case. You know, accidents can happen, things can go wrong, even with the best of solutions. I've run through the very basics of the motorhome. One thing I did forget to say when I've done a little walk around is your floors. It's like if you go lay down on the concrete, if you go sit on the curb, the heat is drawn from your arse straight into the concrete. You are gonna get cold. It's the same as your feet on a cold floor. You are gonna feel cold. So there's two things. You want rug down, carpet down, whatever down, and if you can, then get some slippers or some Crocs or anything to take you away from that floor, taking you away from the heat sucking, if you want to call it that. And that will help. That will really help. That's basic stuff. There are some other things that, I mean, that's done every day. The curtains and all that and everything, they're all closed every day. They're used on a daily. But if it gets colder, then there's a few other things I do. Up in the bunk next to my pillow, up at the top, I've got a little area, a storage area up there. In the colder conditions, I will always keep a pair of long fishing thermal socks, because if I'm cold when I'm in bed, if I wake up cold, I want to be warm. I don't want to have to get down to go find some socks or to go find something just to warm up. So just have them right next to me. I'm not going to use them 9 times out of 10, but if I am cold, then I've got them. I have this usually folded up next to me up there. Again, when it's cold, it's just like a little thermal fleece. Combat thermal undershirt, light olive. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. And that's really, really warm. So if I was feeling really cold, then I'd put that on. First thing I would probably grab before the socks, unless my feet were freezing, is that just a hat. Any hat, I don't care. Don't have to be fashionable. I really ain't fashionable. Just a hat. Because the most you, especially when you got the hair, most of the heat is just lost through your head. Stick one of them on. You can still walk around in a t-shirt even if it's cold, which I find fine. So a hat is, I have multiple hats throughout the motorhome, so I can just grab one, whack it on, and I am looking cool as ever for one, and I'm warm. If it's even colder, we've got even better socks. Now mine are a bit bobbly at the moment, don't know why, but these I bought from B&M in the UK. I think you can buy them online. I think they're by Heat Save. But no matter what ones you go, where you get them, you are looking for 2.3 TOG socks. So you usually get the TOG rating on your duvets and things, but you can actually get 2.3 TOG rated socks, and they're really, really warm. So they're great. If it's really, really, really cold, you just got back from work, whatever, you just got in the van's cold, or you're going to go to bed soon and you're freezing. Now don't laugh, it is pink, but it's warm. So you've got hot water bowls. Now I've got two, so one's a smaller one, one's a bigger one. I would definitely recommend when you use these to fill them up and chuck them in your bed half hour before you're going to go to bed. Chuck one at the end and one in the middle or at the top, and you will not regret it. It will be toasty. That one you can just, that one's down there keeping the ends warm, keeping your feet warm. Perfect. Top tip with these, when you're going to fill them up with hot water, you're going to be boiling water, so that's going to generate heat, which is great, but you might as well take advantage of that. You might as well boil the biggest kettle you've got, fill them up so they're full, then use these. Now, so it's a normal thermos flask, fill that up with hot water, so you've got some spare hot water ready to rock and roll whenever you want it. Then you make yourself a tea or a coffee or a hot chocolate. This is a life venture. Life venture. And this keeps drinks hot for probably about 8 hours. So you can take that up to the bed, and it won't. They're great. They don't leak at all, and they're like double walled, vacuumed, and God knows what. So you can have a tea or a hot chocolate up in the bed with you if you wake up or you're going to bed cold. That. But then when you've got this spare water, this spare hot water, and we all know thermos flasks. I've got a different one here. I've got a boggy. Again, that'll keep stuff hot for like 8 hours and stuff cold for 12 or 14. Perfect. I like that. I like to usually take that to work with me to keep drink cold. But it does keep things hot as well. But when you've got spare water, which you've just boiled, so you could boil 2 kettles if you can't fit all this in. Again, that will just create a nice bit of warmth in the van, in the motorhome. If you wake up and these are cold, these are now dead, well, you can just nip down, empty them out, refill them. You haven't got to wait for a kettle. You're done. Again, if you wake up freezing in the morning, so you've slept the night, you've done the night, you wake up, the first thing you want is a coffee, or the first thing you want is a tea or a hot chocolate, because that's empty. You've got hot water ready to go. Straight in. Yeah, you can whack the kettle on now. You can whack half of that in there for a cup, the rest of that in that one for that, while you sit down and check your emails or whatever you're going to do, have a look at the day. Then you can have the kettle on for the next one, which is warm in the van whilst you're drinking a warm drink, sitting with a warm hot water bowl. I mean, it's just common sense, isn't it? It's all great. These are all readily available, and nothing, I think, probably been said before, but it's just about making the most of what you got. A few little hints, tips, and tricks along the way, but especially your hat. It's got to be a hat and your hot water, and then your cooking. Most importantly, whatever you're going to do, whether you use a cooker or whether you use a little fire, wood burners, log burners, anything, just have that carbon monoxide, your smoke alarm, and be safe and stay warm. I hope these hints and tips and tricks of mine that I use helped. I'd like to say a big thank you to all my new subscribers, because there are a lot of you now and it's growing very quickly, so thank you very much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you know that might find it useful, and I'll see you in the next video.